Welcome everybody to the first ever episode 1 of KZ Learn. I'm one of your hosts, Felipe, and today I'm joined by the she said she would buy the flowers herself of teachers, Dani. How are you today, Dani?
Hello, guys. I'm doing fine. How are you, Fed?
I'm okay. Very excited for our podcast. Our first episode is live now, so
Yay!
that was amazing
Woohoo!
news. Got some great comments. And today we're
hmm
recording our first ever episode of KZ Learn, which is a podcast for all the hints and tips about learning and improve your English skills. And as always, you can and should participate by asking us questions on Instagram or during your lessons with, of course, the most amazing teachers in the world, ourselves, and Victor. He's not here today, but he will join us in future episodes. Danny, for today, we'll discuss a very simple question. Yeah, internet problems, we're back. But as I was saying, today we're going to discuss a very simple question. Is English really that important? We'll see in a
I don't
second.
know. Is it?
We shall do so, but in a second. Because just some quick housekeeping for you guys. The reading workshop, unfortunately, is coming to an end. Danny, how was the ride? How has the ride
It
been,
was.
actually?
It was amazing. It has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We are down to one session now. Next
Mm-hmm.
Friday.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, and I know for sure there will be a second round, a third round, a fourth round. It was
Yeah.
really cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're gonna. It was a success. So, but we
Yes.
have a new workshop coming, don't we, Faye?
Sure. Yes. The business workshop has already been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah. From building your CV, from it also participating in job interviews, and the interesting fact is both sides of a job interview. That would be so fun. A Shark Tank meetings, all the vocabulary necessary. Our focus will be speaking. You can see all the information on our Instagram post about it. And also, don't forget, Tuesdays and Thursdays here on YouTube, we play games and you learn with KZ Games, me
Woo-hoo.
and Mr. Victor.
Woo.
This week, I'll be playing God of War, and Victor will
Boy.
start playing Spider Man. Boy,
Sorry,
yes.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I get it. It's all good. And also we still have some openings for Duolingo group classes. So if
True.
you're not in there, send us a message. We'll put you in there, and that would be awesome. And
hmm
that's that. Just quick housekeeping today. Before we start, Danny, are you excited for our talk today?
Super.
I love this answer. And we actually will break down our conversation into 5 different topics. But actually, before we dive into those specific topics, just in general, Danny, is English really that important?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's extremely important. What about for
Yeah,
you, friend?
I would say so, logically. And we'll, we'll, like I said, we broke down the conversation and we'll be talking 5 different topics. But
hmm
all in all, we can see like the benefits of learning English and mastering the language. The benefits
hmm
are all over the place. You can see it in pretty much every aspect of your life.
hmm
Let's start with the first one that's probably the most interesting one, which is entertainment.
hmm
Danny, how do you think English can be important for entertainment purposes?
Well, I think that as soon as you learn English, internet problems. Okay,
Hmm.
so I think that hmm?
Hmm.
I think that English is important in every aspect, but I believe that there's nothing like understanding a film or a book in the original language.
Sure,
You
sure.
get so much more, right? The
Hmm.
the meaning comes clean, comes pure for you,
Hmm.
and not only that, but also it allows you to be part of a culture.
Hmm. Sure,
And so learning English for entertainment, it opens so many doors,
sure,
right? What do you
sure.
think, Faye?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. One of the first things that that I started doing when I learned English was actually watch movies with no subtitles, just the audio in
Yep.
English. Like you said, you can get the pure message, you know, exactly
Mm-hmm.
what they want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you translate, a lot of things can be lost in translation. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
you can go like for the exact words. You can lose a little bit in the translation with the exact words, or also the message that they want to say. Because you and I, we have worked with translations before,
Mm-hmm.
and we know
Mm-hmm.
how hard it is to actually get something in English and convert it to Portuguese and have the exact same meaning, like
Mm-hmm.
the 100% without any losses. So
Mm-hmm.
that
And
that
when
is
it comes to subtitles, yeah,
hmm
for movies and TV series, when it comes to subtitles, you have a specific number of letters you can have in the subtitle.
sure.
So the translators, the ones that are producing the subtitles, sometimes if they cannot feed the whole message, they have to adapt it. So that's why sometimes people say, "Oh, what they're saying is not according to the subtitle is not according to what they're saying."
hmm
And that's obvious because you have a
Yes,
space, you have a limitation.
sure.
So uh, because of that, because of limitations for you to read on the screen, sometimes, like you said, you get lost in translation.
Sure.
So if you
Another.
have the if you have the original language, super cool. You can
Yeah,
understand. You don't rely on anything, right? You're
exactly.
free.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's your interpretation. It's not like what the
Yep.
translator interpret for the idea, and you understand what the
For you to
translator wants to
consume,
say. Yes,
for
exactly.
sure.
And another thing, focusing on entertainment, another thing that is super important for me is music. It's
Mm-hmm.
being able
Mm-hmm.
to listen to music, and let's say 90% of the times you listen
Mm-hmm.
and you can directly understand what the person, what the singer is trying to say, what the band is trying to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, you don't need to go on like translation like letras.com or something to
Mm-hmm.
so you can actually understand the message and you can interpret for yourself. So again, you're
Mm-hmm.
not relying on who is actually translating that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only for music, but
Yeah, but let
also
me tell you something about music. But
sure.
sometimes, like the song has this beautiful ballad, the rhythm is cool,
hmm
and the singing is nice, and you say, "Oh my God, that's the song of my life," and then it's
However,
talking about something terrible.
yeah, sure.
And sometimes just reproducing because you listen to it, like the sound of it is cool,
hmm
but when you see the lyrics, it's a terrible song,
yeah.
or it's telling about negative things, and you
Yeah.
say, and you keep saying, "Oh, it's the song of my life," and
Mm.
actually it shouldn't be, right?
Hold your horses, right? That's it.
Yeah, I remember a song, but it's a very old song. It was
Mm.
a theme from one of the soap operas. It was called "Sexed Up" by
Mm.
Robbie Williams.
Okay. Yeah, I know
It's
this one.
Do you remember this song? It's an
Sure.
old song. If you guys don't know the song, Google it,
hmm
take a look in the lyrics. It's a beautiful saying song. It's a ballad, but
Mm.
then he's saying how he wants to cheat on his girlfriend.
Yes, yes,
It's
exactly.
basically that. And then people say, "Oh, that's the song of my life." Really?
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I 100% agree with you. Like being able to
Mm.
understand exactly
Yeah.
the meaning of the
Sure.
songs,
It's important.
and
You
also
don't make a fool of yourself, right?
exactly, and podcasts we can also include in this one.
Yeah.
Documentaries. I love watching documentaries with
Mm-hmm.
the original audio, so you don't
Mm-hmm.
lose anything. You actually
Mm-hmm.
understand what the people who are documenting their stuff, what they
Mm-hmm.
actually want to say.
And not only that, Faye, I can
Mm,
share a bit of experience with you.
mm,
I lived in some countries,
mm,
and I remember when I was living in the Netherlands, I lived there for a year.
mm,
The last Harry Potter movie came out,
okay,
and I'm a Potterhead,
exactly.
and I had to watch it.
Mm,
And the thing is, the audio was in English, the subtitles were in Dutch. So I knew English. I could go to the movies. I could watch the movie in English, being in a country that doesn't really speak English. So these
exactly.
allowed me to go there and watch the movie that I really wanted to watch. So if you are a a film buff, if you
Mm-hmm.
love movies, if you are in another country and you want to have the experience of watching a movie in another country,
Mm-hmm.
you may have it in English. So it can also allow you to experience. Maybe sometimes, I don't know, you are in, like me, you are in the Netherlands and you want to watch a movie to see the experience. You can go
Mm-hmm.
there, you watch it in
Yes.
English.
And
So
adding to
it's a
that,
cool
we can
thing.
include theaters, theater plays. If you
Sure.
go to New York, you want to go to Broadway. Come on, one of the most important things you do in the planet, I would say.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Come on, you're gonna enter the theater Broadway, one of them, and you're just gonna watch it. Like you're not gonna understand anything that they're saying. Like
Hmm.
you're
It
missing
will
what
be
like the most
awesome.
important. Yeah,
I
sure.
don't say that you won't have a good experience. You will, because of visual and sensual things. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, sensitive things.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, that's the
you're not gonna
point.
understand what
Yeah,
they're saying.
you're gonna have a good
So,
experience. You're not gonna have a
yeah.
fantastic experience or a perfect
Exactly.
experience.
Exactly.
So that includes that as well. And thinking about traveling to countries, of course, going to our topic number two, then you had an
Mhm.
interesting situation in Portugal, right? When it comes
Oh
to English.
yeah, I do.
What happened?
We keep saying, "Oh, why is English important?"
Mm-hmm.
Answering the question, I will tell the experience. I lived in Portugal for 6 months. I was studying there,
Mm-hmm.
and Portugal speaks Portuguese. So you think, I don't need to speak English for that. I
Mm-hmm.
arrived in the place where I was going to live, and I had to talk to my landlord. And he was a Portuguese man. He was a very Portuguese man,
Mm-hmm.
and he started to speak to me in European Portuguese. And it was so hard for me to understand. I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I said to him, Rui, dear, you've got to speak in English. I can't understand what you're saying. And he was like, okay. And then,
Aren't you Brazilian?
yeah, like, can't you speak my language?
Yeah.
But I couldn't because of intonation, because of speed. I couldn't understand. And then he
Mm-hmm.
had to, our first contact had to be in English. And
Mm-hmm.
then
And
as
how was
time
his
went by,
English?
it was okay. It was better than his Portuguese, I should
Okay.
say.
Okay.
But it was interesting. So you see, we had the same language.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand him at all. So I
Yeah.
had to rely on English in order to speak to a person who speaks the same language.
Yeah, that's same
So
like
why
me.
is yeah, why is English important? Well, for me it was extremely important. Otherwise I
Sure.
wouldn't have a place to live while I
Yeah.
was in Portugal.
Exactly.
So it was extremely important.
As in focusing on another trip that we had, we visited Russia 2018
Mm-hmm.
for the World Cup. Best trip ever, right? And
Yeah.
uh, the first moment, like the first day, I would say it was kind of hard, right, Danny? Like they didn't speak
Yes.
English so much,
No.
but
They
they have a
speak.
specific reason, right, for
Yeah.
not speaking
Yeah.
English. What is it?
They it's historical, right? They stayed in war with the United States for a long time. It was the
Sure.
Cold War? It was like a war of interests. So
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't really bombing or anything like that, but
Yes.
it was really tough, long
Yes.
years. And the Russians decided that they don't want to speak English. They don't have to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So the Russian people, well, at least the ones we've met, the ones that we talked to, they have a good life there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't plan to go out of the country because
Sure.
they have everything they want there.
Mm-hmm.
So why speaking another language?
Sure.
Well, they have
Exactly.
Russian and that's fine.
Yeah. But thanks to English, we got to meet the beautiful, the
Oh
brilliant Anna. And let's
no!
be
Ah, she
honest,
was so adorable,
yes, never in a
adorable lady.
million years would we have the chance to meet Russia like we did after we met her.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
She
it was
was
so cool.
showing us everything, all the cultural aspects. She went to
Mm-hmm.
Tolstoy's house. That was
Yeah,
it with us,
yeah,
and that was
yeah.
amazing. Everything like we had there were a lot of signs. They were written in Russian, right? What's the name of the
Mm-hmm.
alphabet? It's
Cyrillic, the
Cyrillic
Cyrillic
alphabet.
alphabet.
Yeah. And she was reading it to us and translating to English.
She
Uh,
gave us kvass. Do you remember kvass?
yes. Oh my god, I hated
Delicious.
like the
I loved
first.
it.
Yeah, the first sip
Delicious.
I hated, but then I got addicted, It's so
It's
amazing.
so
Yeah.
good. So good.
That's true. So, having this kind of freedom where you can talk to others in English, all the trips that we went to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
we went to New York a million times, I guess, by now. And
Mm-hmm.
having this kind of freedom, talking to others, getting to meet their culture, their lifestyles, I think that's paramount. Like when you think about uh like getting outside of your bubble, so you have your
Exactly.
comfort zone, which is Brazil and Brazilian culture. So you get to travel, you get to meet new things, meet new people,
Mm-hmm.
and for
Yep.
me, that is the most important thing when
Mm-hmm.
traveling. So English is really, really, really important for that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And let's be honest now, it's well known by now that English is again crucial for work. Like
Yep. Yeah.
we have so many students that they come to us and say like, "Oh, I need English because of my job. My boss is asking me to do this or that."
Mm-hmm.
And Danny, what advice would you give to students that come seeking help from us about work for English?
Again, answering the question, why is English important?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we live in São Paulo. We are from São Bernardo do Campo, which is an industrial city, and we are surrounded by international industries.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to work locally, you've got to speak English. You've got
Sure.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Not only here, but in many other places and industries. But locally, if you want to live and work here, you've got to. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer like, oh, you need English. No, they expect you to know English, and there you go.
Exactly.
Because you will need to have contact with people from other countries. We have students that work for Swedish companies. We have students that work for German companies.
Mm-hmm.
I have a student who works for an Austrian company. So
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, and they all use English to speak
Mm-hmm.
to themselves.
Sure.
And of course you can go there and just like be in a video conference, quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and just paying attention. Cool, okay. But if you really want to get an upgrade in your career, get a promotion, or get people to see you and to pay attention on you, you've
Mm-hmm.
got to speak, you've
Sure.
got to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And why
And
is it important to
mm,
know? Because of this,
exactly.
the companies nowadays, they are relying
Mm-hmm.
on you to have
Sure.
English.
Exactly.
They expect you
Agree.
to have it, right?
And
And the
as
thing is sorry, Faye, sorry, Faye.
no, no,
Go ahead.
as we always say, like even if you don't use English, they expect you to have English because you
Mm-hmm,
never know. You never know when a situation might pop up and you
mm-hmm,
need to go there and use your English skills.
mm-hmm,
So, job interviews quite common. I think
mm-hmm. Yeah.
meetings. I basically every week I have a student saying like, "Oh, teacher, I participate in a meeting in English, or I will participate. Can you help me
Yeah,
prepare
me
for
too.
it?"
Me
So
too.
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Job interviews, meetings. If you want a promotion, the most of companies again they will expect
Mm-hmm,
that you have
mm-hmm,
such a skill. And
mm-hmm,
if you want to change jobs, new and better opportunities, English is really important for your
mm-hmm.
professional life. And
Yeah.
again, if you work for
So
an
it's not only
international
for
company,
one company, right?
yeah,
I remember I had students who said, my company requires an intermediate level of English. So now I'm intermediate, I'm going to stop.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
but then are you going to work for this company for the rest of your life?
exactly.
No, we are in the middle of a pandemic.
Hmm.
Crisis can happen at like with a blink of an eye.
Sure.
So what happens if your company goes bankrupt, or what
Hmm.
happens if you get fired?
Sure.
So not only don't study English, don't practice English only for that particular company.
Hmm.
Work for you,
Exactly.
right? It has to be a skill or something they're doing for yourself, not for that
Hmm.
particular
Sure.
company, right?
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think this is another very interesting aspect. You work for a Swedish or German company or North American company, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Having a good English skill, like being able to talk and, you know, do everything that your profession requires you to do,
Mm-hmm.
um, it open. I guess a door that it can also open for you is traveling for business. Can you imagine?
Exactly.
You get to travel, you get to
Exactly.
go to Sweden or Germany for a month with all expenses paid by the company. That's the dream,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Like that's
Yeah,
perfect.
of course, you'll be there to work, but then it's
But
also
still,
opportunity for you to get to know places, right?
yeah, sure. I have a student that he stayed, I think, for 8 months working in Sweden,
You see?
and he said it was one of the best experiences in his life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's perfect.
That's amazing.
All because he has a very good English. So it is another thing to consider.
Mm-hmm.
And again, English is
Sure.
super important for work as well. And not
Mm-hmm.
only work, like when you think about traveling, work, you can travel for business or for pleasure, but also I guess the social status that it can give you. You have this
Mm-hmm.
kind of freedom that you can, if they ask you to participate in a meeting, you're confident enough to do so. Or
Mm-hmm.
if they ask you to travel to Sweden or Germany, whatever, you have this kind of social status, like, yeah, I can do it. So
Mm-hmm.
you
All
can
by myself, right?
exactly,
This is
exactly,
a cool thing. I think this
and
is the most important thing.
hmm
When it comes when it comes to social status,
hmm
I think that we have to think about as a country,
hmm
right? Brazil is a very large country with
hmm
many issues and many things to consider, but
hmm
only 5% of the population speak English
yeah,
in a proficient level.
sure,
It's very low. It's a
yeah,
very low number.
sure,
Considering all the opportunities and all the companies that are here,
hmm
5%, it's really low.
exactly,
Really, really, really low.
hmm
So it means that people are still relying on those fast courses, like I'll learn English in 18 months.
it's not gonna happen.
Not gonna
Let me
happen.
break your
Uh,
bubble. Burst your
yeah, it's
bubble.
not gonna happen. Yeah, but it's not gonna happen.
hmm
You don't learn a language in 18 months.
Sure.
That's it. We can have a whole podcast talking about it.
Sure.
And that would be an angry podcast from two
Really angry.
teachers.
Yes.
Really angry. But anyway, that's not the point.
Uh-huh.
But social status as a country. So
hmm
it's really interesting to go to another country and say, oh, I'm Brazilian, and the person, oh, you speak English very well. Yes, I do, because I
hmm
studied.
Sure.
And I know there's about opportunities, and people say, um, you can only study English if you have money.
Mm. Not really.
Not really.
No.
Yeah,
I've,
you
I've
can have
never
free
studied
courses. You
English.
can have, yeah,
You think so?
properly, like officially, right?
Yeah.
But you can have scholarships from the big schools,
hmm
language schools. They usually offer scholarships.
Sure.
You can have free courses, and baby, you have the internet.
Sure.
If you really want to do it, you have the internet. You have private teachers.
hmm
Talk to private teachers. You say, oh, I don't have that much money to study English. Okay, talk to private teachers. We
Let's
love
see.
teaching. We love
Exactly.
teaching, and we want to help.
hmm
So my dream is to have at least 10% of the population speaking
Sure.
in English.
And when you
And
consider like
maybe
only
still.
5% of the population speak they are speaking English,
Mm-hmm.
imagine like when you are part of this percentage, you can stand out. You can put in your CV
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, I do have a proficient English, I do have an advanced English, and you stand out.
Uh-huh. And I
So
have the certificate to prove it. I
exactly,
sat for an exam. I
exactly,
know what I'm talking.
sure, and
It stands out, like you said.
exactly, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's elegant. Let's be honest. You can say like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do speak English,
Mm-hmm.
and the sense of achievement that comes with it is,
Yeah.
again, it's second to none.
Uh-huh.
You feel like like again, you have this kind of freedom. You feel like you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and also,
Exactly.
just adding to what you said, it was also reported in 2019, last no 2 years ago, a year
Mm-hmm.
and a half ago, Brazil had its worst position in the proficiency exams. So it's something that I don't know. It got my attention to the fact that, again, you mentioned people study like the intermediate level and that's it, and they think, most of students think they're like, okay, I can put that I have an advanced English in my CV, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
they would add this information, but it's unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually have this
Mm-hmm.
advanced English.
Mm-hmm.
So then the company or some place has, of course, this is just one possibility that I'm imagining for this. And then a company is like, okay, prove it. I want to see a certificate. People sit for the certificate, but they are not prepared for that because again, they stop studying the intermediate level, and
Mm-hmm.
the intermediate level is the longest, right, according to the
Mm-hmm.
CFR.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is the longest level, especially because you must expand your vocabulary. You get this comfort zone that it's really really hard to get out from.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is actually the longest because of that. You have so much grammar that you can study.
You
So
need to be exposed to
sure,
more language. You're going to be
yes,
exposed to more advanced
hmm,
grammar.
sure,
And you see, the proficient level, it's not easy to
hmm,
achieve. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, study and you will take it. No, it's
no,
hard.
it
It
is,
takes a lot of time. I myself, I studied for a year and a half to sit for my proficient test.
hmm,
And I took it, I had it, but it was really hard work. We did it together,
yeah,
Faye and
sure.
we did it together, as we always do everything.
Duh.
And it was really hard,
Hmm,
but it was doable. I could
yeah,
do it because I worked hard for it.
sure,
So when it comes to like social status,
hmm,
I can go to a job interview and say, I have a proficient English because I have the certificate.
yeah,
And I
I
know that
took it.
all the hard work, all those weekends without going out with my friends and
Hmm,
staying home and study, they paid off.
sure,
Because now I have what it takes to say I'm a proficient speaker. And this
exactly.
is important,
Hmm,
right? Anyway, I think this is a whole topic for another
sure.
podcast. And it
Uh,
would be a very interesting topic.
yes, and yeah, just to wrap things up, we have this last topic, which is
Hmm.
how English can help you understand your own language, your native
Yeah.
language,
Hmm.
which goes exactly along the same lines that you were talking right now,
Hmm.
which is you need to understand the language. It's not just like,
Hmm.
okay, repeat the words that I'm saying or read this and try to memorize. It is not
Hmm.
like that. You need to
Yeah.
understand how the language works. So
Hmm.
understand grammar, and this comes. I think like the biggest problem comes from our own educational system,
Hmm.
because we don't learn Portuguese in this way. We don't know how the language works.
No,
So
no.
uh,
We only know the mechanics of it.
sure.
I remember hours and hours and hours of having a sentence and have to find the subject, the predicate, the direct object,
Mm-hmm.
transitive verb, intransitive verb. That was cool. I love doing it, but that's mechanical. I
Sure.
didn't understand why I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no context, so it was a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of sentences, and you had to find those informations,
Yeah.
those piece of information.
Sure.
So we don't understand why. And then when you come to learn another language, you start questioning, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, how do you form a sentence? We form this and that. But in your first language, in your L1, you don't do that.
Sure.
Your
Mm-hmm.
L1 is deficient. So of course you're going to transfer that skill
Mm-hmm.
to any other language you try to learn.
Yeah.
So it's a good way for you to start analyzing your own language,
Sure.
to analyze your own thing.
Yeah. And the most important thing is like we're learning new ways to say different things. Like
Mm-hmm.
we tend to do this a lot in our classes, which is we get a simple sentence like, okay, let's expand, let's see how we can improve on this language to
Mm-hmm.
make it more sophisticated. Or you can say,
Mm-hmm.
I like this movie, it is good forever. So if you keep repeating
Mm-hmm.
the same word, the same constructions, your conversation will become a snooze fest. Nobody will pay attention to what you're saying,
Yeah.
or they will pay attention for the first minutes or so, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes boring if you keep repeating the
Mm-hmm.
same word
Yeah.
or the same construction. So passive
Mm-hmm.
voice, active voice, causatives, they play
Mm-hmm.
such an important role
Mm-hmm.
when it comes
And
to
it's
having
not
a
only
natural
that.
conversation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I was talking to mom these days about learning English. My mom, she knows how to, and she understands it, but she doesn't really know how to speak
Mhm.
that well. And I said to her, we were talking like, go by yourself and buy stuff
Mhm.
if you are in another country. And she said to me, I can't do it because if I ask for something, they will start asking me other questions and I don't know how to answer.
Mm.
So it's like that. Like you go to
Mhm.
McDonald's and you say, I want a hamburger.
Mhm.
And they have to ask you, do you want with the tomato, ketchup,
Mm.
mustard? How do you want
Combo.
it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
combo. Yeah. And they're gonna ask that. And if
Mhm.
you don't have this expansion,
Mhm.
these other shades of meaning and many other things that comes with language, you will
Sure.
be like, just a hamburger, please.
Yes.
You won't understand it.
Exactly.
So, and then again, and then going back, social status.
Mhm. Freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
what your
Exactly.
face is gonna be like when you
Yeah.
don't know how to order a hamburger.
Mhm. Exactly.
So
Yeah. I think
you've got to
preparation is
study,
key.
you've got to
Yeah.
expand.
Mhm.
Preparation is key for sure, thing
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And not only thinking like, okay, I want you to order this. Just going on with the example that you're saying you're giving.
Mm-hmm.
Not only like, okay, how do I order this, but not no, like, how do I have a conversation about this?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
Mm-hmm.
learning the skill to order, it's learning the skill to have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation when you are in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
this is the kind of thing that we need to change a little bit, the
Yeah.
direction that learning a language
Yeah.
is for Portuguese speakers.
And
So
sometimes you can get such cool experiences. I can share one really quickly.
sure.
I lived in New York for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and in New York there is a bookstore that I love. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Strand,
Okay.
and Phil
Okay.
loves it too, so he
Okay.
know. I
Maybe.
love that bookstore.
Mm.
And I remember many times I went there and I was looking for a book to read. And I went to the sales assistant and I said, do you know anything about this book? What can you tell me about this particular book? Or do you have, what are the new books, the new releases? And they used to come and talk to me about it. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is a cool one if you like this type of story. And
Sure.
like you said, it's not only going there and ordering, I want this book.
Sure.
No, it's always going there and sharing experiences. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes for example, many times I got a book that was an indication from them, and it was awesome.
Sure.
It was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yes.
And
Sharing
if
the
I didn't
experiences.
have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and if I didn't have the language, I would never have this experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
True.
it's important to know this, to
Mm-hmm.
for experience, right?
Sure.
To have this.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it is probably like this when you think about language learning, uh,
Mm-hmm.
getting or being able to speak English, learn English in this way, you can also apply to your original language. So basically, you're learning like two for one,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
this is
Exactly.
not the way that we learn in Portuguese. So this can help you a lot improve your own language, your own native
Mm-hmm.
language. I
For
don't have the
sure.
specific numbers, but I remember reading an article a few years back that mentioned that most Brazilians have just an intermediate level of
Mm-hmm.
their own
Of
language like this.
Portuguese.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't speak our language so well. So
Mm-hmm.
learning English can also improve your own language, the your mother
Mm-hmm.
tongue, basically.
Yeah. That's
So that's it, Danny.
I totally agree.
Amazing talk.
Mm.
Very great
So again,
perspective.
Faith, let me ask you a question.
Mm.
Do you think English is important?
English, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, which is live in Brazil, work for I don't know, just a domestic
Local.
company, let's say a local
Mm-hmm.
company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, English is crucial for your life. It
Mm-hmm.
is uh, it is the tool that will enable all these doors to be open for you. That's it.
Cool sentence. Wow.
Exactly. And yeah, Danny, what are your final thoughts?
I I make your words my own.
Okay.
It's crucial. It's
Yeah.
crucial.
Hmm.
We live in a country that the English has a huge influence here.
Hmm.
So you've got to.
Hmm.
You've got to learn it.
Yes, sure.
That's it. Hmm.
Amazing, Danny. Great perspectives.
Yeah.
Amazing talk. And I hope
Hmm.
me and Danny here, we could open your eyes to the importance of learning English.
Hmm.
And for you guys, we want to know, why is English important for you? So tell us in the comments, tell us in your classes, um, and we really, really, really want to know. For today, honey, that's it. Thank you very much. It
Yay.
has been a pleasure and an honor to be here with
Yay.
you.
Thank
And
you.
for all of you, I hope to see you around. And that's it. Bye.
Yay.